Hi, this is Jessica from Books A True Story, and I'm going to review my new Kindle Paperwhite. I happen to own a Kindle Touch and a Kindle keyboard, so I'm going to show you what they all look like compared to the new one. So the first one I have is my Kindle keyboard. This was the original Kindle I got, and this is the hideous cover I got to replace my one that broke. So the thing I don't like about the keyboard was the cover design that Kindle made. It had this light that comes out, but for the whole thing to work, I have these two little tiny prongs that go in the side of your Kindle. Oops. Little prongs right there. And look, one of them broke after a year, so I had to buy the ugly one I have now. And now, all this cover is good for, there's a bunch of authors signing it. April and Pike, Dan Wells, S.J. King, Veronica Roth, Kirsten White, James Dashner, and some people I can't remember. So, don't like that about it. I do like the button page turns. I mean, there are so many times fell asleep, total faceplant. Don't lose your place because it's not a touchscreen. You have to push the button, so I love that. I constantly fall asleep when I'm reading. The other thing that kind of bugs about the keyboard is to look up a word, you have to push this button 20 times. And it gets old really fast. But I like the buttons. They always do what you want them to. Touchscreens kind of sometimes don't do what you want. And then I wanted to show you the Paperwhite, what the screens look like. So this is the Paperwhite. This is the keyboard. Keyboard's a lot bigger. Alright, so the next one is my husband's Kindle. This is the Kindle Touch, the one they came out with right after the keyboard. And this cover, I mean, even if it was a better color, is still ugly. Because it's like plastic. Look at it. It does not look leather. It looks like really cheap plastic. And the back, ew. Sorry. So this is what the Paperwhite and the Kindle look like. I mean, I think the screens look pretty much the same. My favorite thing about this Touch is the light. This is the best light design ever. I think it's even better than the Paperwhite. The thing I didn't like about this is the touchscreen is really sensitive. It's like, it'll turn the page instead of highlight, and it bugs me to no end. And then the navigation always bugged me. I'd always tap the top, and half of it's up here and half of it's down there. And is the font changing thing in the menu, or I don't know. It always bugged me. I could never remember where stuff was. So I wasn't the biggest fan. Except for the light. Let's look at the light again. How awesome it is. So here's my Paperwhite. I think it's super cute, super thin. And my very, very favorite thing is you open the cover, ta-da! And by the time you've even folded it back, it's right where you left off. And they fixed the navigation. It's all at the top. And it's easy for me to remember where stuff is. You can change the light. Whoops. Turned it on max, but you can adjust it. I only have to have the light on like at that much at night to read. And you can turn it all the way off. That's what it looks like all the way off. I usually leave it off during the day because I think it looks fine. I can read it. It says that you can turn the light to maximum brightness to read in the daylight, but I think it reads fine without it. So, I mean, if you don't like the light. When I first got it, I felt like the light was like glaring in my eyes. It was super bright, but I realized that I'm used to reading like if it this far away. I just turned up the brightness and I hold it, farther back, and it doesn't bother my eyes anymore. The touch screen's not as sensitive as it was on the Kindle Touch. Like, when I highlight, it actually highlights. instead of turning the page. I think it runs pretty fast, like the page turns pretty fast. It's the fastest of all of them. Going back, click tap over here. Let's see. Oh, and the cover, look how pretty. Not the ugly fake plastic of the other one. It's purple on the back too. See, it's got textures on it. The other thing I really like about the Kindle Paperwhite is the X-ray. I think the Kindle Touch has X-ray. I can't remember. But I use this X-ray all the time because I constantly forget who people are. You push X-ray. It has a list of characters, places, and for example, if I can't remember who the Craptobius is, I click on it and it shows all the times he showed up. So I can read in context when the last time was that it talked about him. If it's a place up here, it'll talk about in this area up here. It'll talk about like what the place is, but in here it says the Tobias name's derivation, which I could care less about. It'd be handy for a place. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You want to see them all together? Let's see if I can hold up all three. Whoa. Yeah. Honestly, I think all the screens look pretty much the same. But if you're going to get the Paperwhite and you like this open to wake feature, do not get the ad version. The ad version, as soon as you open this up, there's a stupid ad and you have to swipe for it to go away. It doesn't just go away. And I'm like, that entirely defeats the purpose of waking it up, right? So I got that one first and then I returned it because it bugged me after one day. I love it. I use it daily. My husband bought it for me basically because he was tired of me stealing his. And he got me a purple one. Below this video, you can read specifically just about more about the Paperwhite instead of comparing it to the other models. And I wrote more thoughts on what I think of the Paperwhite. So thanks for checking out my blog. Talk to you later.